Yo, what's up, guys? Just wanted to do a quick recap for today's training session. Honestly, thought today's training session was actually one of the top 10 hardest workouts I've ever done in my life. And that's saying a lot because I've been working out for over 12 years. So, yeah, it was a tough one, but it was a great freaking workout. Consisted mainly of 6 main sets, which I'm going to talk about in this video. And the sets were so intense that between each one of the 6 sets, I had to take like 15 or 20 minutes off between each one because it was brutal and I was exhausted cardiovascular wise, but great freaking workout. So I'm just going to run through the sets. First off, 635 for 1 raw conventional deadlift, no straps with a belt. 505 for 10 deadlift conventional with a belt and straps. 405 for 40 shrug. 345 for 20 stiff leg deadlift. 295 for 20 beltless stiff leg deficit deadlift, and then a 155 for 20 back extension, like the Rubish extension. And I also did about 1,000 push-ups today, no cap. I don't lie about shit like that. I mean, in sets of like 100, so about 10 sets of 100 reps on push-ups. So yeah, it was a hell of a workout, great freaking workout. So I'm just gonna run through the 6 sets I talked about. With the 635 for 1, it was a bit of a grind. It was a kind of sketchy rep, but I think the form was adequate. I mean, I didn't have to hitch it. You know, it just wasn't the cleanest or smoothest rep, which makes me think 635 is basically my true max right now, my current max. So yeah, I'm at 635 on a deadlift, not a bad place to be. My strongest ever is like 655 that I've done cleanly, and I've done 675 hitch. So we're like 20 to 40 pounds off of our strongest ever. So that moved okay. And then we did 505 for 10 deadlift with a belt and straps. The last 2 were kind of grindy, but overall that moved pretty well. So we did going from last workout to this workout. Last time we did 625 for 1 and 495 for 10. So for these 2 sets, we upped it by 10 pounds to 635 for 1 and 505 for 10. Makes sense. I think it's good to do the sets of 10 to get the reps in, the volume in with pretty heavy weight, 505 for 10. That's going to be the building blocks. It's going to build me stronger for next workout. Then we did a 405 for 40 shrug, which is a decent amount of weight and pretty high reps. I like going high reps on shrugs, like 20, 30, 40 reps. And what the shrug is going to do for an assistance exercise for your deadlift is going to give you a lot of confidence and strength in breaking heavy weights off the ground, just ripping 500-600 pound deadlifts off the ground if you have really powerful traps developed through shrugs. It's also going to help you at lockout. So shrugs are a great assistance exercise. It's going to work the upper back traps and give you a lot of confidence and aggression in pulling big weights off the floor. So after 405 for 40 on shrugs, 345 for 20 stiff leg deadlift. Last time we did 335 for 20, so up that by 10 pounds, makes sense. I find stiff legs are one of my favorite assistance exercises for deadlift right now, or they've always been one of my favorites. I love them. See what the stiff leg is going to do, it's really going to help that knee area, going from below the knee to above the knee, basically clearing the knees. If you struggle there, developing your hamstrings through stiff legs is going to be a game changer. So 345 for 20 stiff leg deadlift, then a 295 for 20, dropped it by 50 pounds, deficit beltless stiff leg deficit, beltless stiff leg deadlift to really help get that stretch with the deficit and the stiff leg, and beltless just to make it a little bit harder. 295 for 20, that was decent. And then finally we did a 155 for 20 back extension, 45-degree back raise with 155 for 20, just to finish it off. Now, one thing cool about this workout you guys might have noticed, it's 1 set in the 600-pound range, 1 set in the 500-pound range, 1 in the 400, 1 in the 300, 1 in the 200, and 1 in the 100-pound rep range, 100-pound weight range, basically to cover every base. So that, I'm hitting a really heavy single in the 600-pound range, 345 for 20 in the 300-pound range, and 155 for 20 with the back extension in the 100-pound range to cover all the bases, to be, fully equipped for my next deadlift session, which is going to be 525 for 8 to 9, which I'm going to do on Monday. Should be an easy set of at least 8 reps with 525. But yeah, that was the workout, guys. It was a really good one. As I said, one of the top 10 hardest workouts I've ever done in my life, but brutal but rewarding at the same time. So great workout today, guys, but a tough one. Hope you had a good workout too. God bless.